Hi, and welcome to my library. I'm Peggy Miles, and I'm the children's library here at Dwight Parker Public Library in Fenimore. Today, I'm going to show you how to jacket a book. Yes, books have jackets. Not all books. Paperback books do not have jackets, but our hardcover books, some of them do come with them. I have two different books I'm going to show you. The first one is a little smaller book. You can see, skinny little book. Even though it doesn't matter this way, the size, it's really the height and the width. And then I have a bigger book. These are both children's books, but you can see that this book here has a sleeve around it. So let's see. And if you buy a book from a bookstore, a lot of them will come with this sleeve, even though this is a hardcover. So this is not considered a paperback. This is considered a hardcover book. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a little layer of some plastic covering, so that will help keep this from ripping. That will help keep it from any accidents. If somebody spills something, it'd be easier to wipe it off and everything. So that's where we're going to add our jacket. There are a few tools that you need. The first, we need a pair of scissors. Okay, you need a tool that can flatten things out. So we actually have a special tool here at the library. See, it's just got some flat edges to it. This is what we use here at the library. If you don't have one of these, you could use a credit card, a debit card, anything that's got kind of a really flat edge that you can use. We have tape. We have special library tape. This is a little stickier, but if you're going to do this at home, you could use Scotch tape. You could use any kind of tape, really, and it will work. You just have to have a tape that will hold the plastic. And then you need the plastic. So I have two different types of plastic because I have two different types of books. The first one here is this large roll of plastic. This is not just an ordinary roll of plastic. You could use an ordinary roll of plastic if you had one. This one here is actually made for these books, and I know that because when I unroll it here, see there's already a flap started. So that helps that I can put my book cover in there, and it's already done. That piece is done. And then I have another type. This is for our smaller books, so that's for the bigger books. So our smaller book is already done, and if you have a book that looks like this, you don't need that big roll, and you really don't need your scissors either, because you can buy special pieces that will fit just these books. They come in 9 inches, 10 inches, 12 inches. See? This piece here, it is already cut and ready for you, and you can see it is started as well. So this book is already done, so we're not going to use these because I want to show you how to do it from a roll. I could do this little book from the roll. I'm going to have a lot of extra if I do that, so that's why it's nice to have these little pieces available. Okay, let me just put that aside. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this sleeve off of my book, and I'm going to set my book off to the side because I don't need this book now until the end of our jacketing process. So this piece is off to the side. This piece is what I need. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my roll of plastic, and it rolls backwards. So I'm actually going to move this here so that you can see on the table and not see me, but you'll see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm taking my roll of plastic and I'm going to roll it out. And I'm just going to guess at how much I'm going to need. Get my tape out of the way there. So you do need a big space if you have a larger book. You're going to want a large table to do this on. Okay, so I have the plastic on the table. You can see that here. And right here is where it's already started. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take that sleeve that we took off of our book, and I'm going to lay it flat. So I'm going to open all of the flaps and lay it flat. I like to stick it in this piece that's already started, and that way I know for sure that's exactly where it goes, because that piece kind of helps hold that in there. So I'm going to lay it exactly flat. I'm going to make sure that I'm holding it down. If this is your first time, you might help to have somebody help you, because the book tries to pop open, as you can see here, but I've done it a few times, so I'm just going to go ahead and do this by myself. So I've got this. You can see I've got a little extra, so that's good. I'm going to grab my scissors, and I'm going to hold this piece down to the edge of where my crease is, and I'm just going to cut along the edge of that book, the book sleeve there. See, so I'm just cutting along the edge. Let me get a little closer view here. You can see. So we're just going to cut right along that edge until it's all done. Okay? So then the next thing I'm going to do is move my roll out of the way because I don't need this anymore. And I'm going to flatten this out here in its crease. And then I'm going to take this piece here, this extra piece, and I'm going to fold it down and over the top part of the book thing. So I've got this piece already done, so I'm folding this piece down over the top. And then this is where our tool comes in handy. So remember what I said, if you don't have one of these tools, you can use a credit card, anything with an edge on it. So I will start down here so you can see it a little better. And I'm just going to hold that down, and I'm not going to pull it too tight, because if you pull it too tight, it's going to pull that edge up, and that's not going to fit the book correctly. So you want to make sure that you're giving yourself plenty of room so that this lays flat. And then I'm going to take the edge of this, and I'm just going to create a crease. See, I'm just pressing down and creating a crease here in my plastic piece. Okay? That really just kind of gives it a slot to be in. So if I pulled this out, if I pulled this piece out, I could slide it right back into this because this is already creased and ready to go. So I'm just creating this crease here. And remember, same thing on this side. Don't pull it too tight or that will come up. So we're going to go ahead and leave it lay flat, create the crease, and there we go. So you're good to go. But that's not the end of it. I'm going to need 4 pieces of tape. So this is where our tape comes in. So I'm just going to get 4 pieces of tape ready. You don't have to get it ready ahead of time. I like to because then it's just ready for me to grab and go. Okay, so I have 4 pieces of tape. I'm just going to stick them here on the edge of my table. So you can see I'm just sticking it there so it's ready to go. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that this is right side up because you don't want to put it on the book upside down. So I can see that it's right side up. I'm going to lay it down flat again. This is where you need your book. So I'm going to grab my book and you put the spine in the spot for the spine right down the middle. So it's going to go on just like it did before. I'm going to open just the front cover. So I still have all of my pages right here. And I'm just going to fold this piece over. Right? Then you let your papers fall, put your book down, and fold the back piece over. So then I'm going to stand my book up and close it. So you really could be done here, but we want this to stay. So I'm going to come back up here. Let's just do this. So what I do first is I'm going to take this tool one more time. I'm just going to go along the edges just to make sure that on the book it is still has that nice crease in there. You don't necessarily have to do this part. I just like to. All right, so then we're going to move up again so you can see me. And I have my book. It has a jacket on it. You could walk away right here, but we don't because this then can still come off. And with this plastic piece on there, it really doesn't want to stay on exactly. So we're going to take our pieces of tape and you're going to tape right to the book. So from the inside here, I'm going to put my piece of tape and I'm going to fold it over right onto the book. And I'm going to do that. Make sure that it's flat. So I'm doing that with all 4 of my corners. See, you want to make sure your tape is long enough so that it will go far enough onto the book because you want it to touch the book. See? All right, last one. And there we go. We have our book jacketed. Great job. Thank you.